Hello, Lindy and Pete's family and friends who are either at or watching the memorial service of Peter Collison. I'm Barry Mellish and was a school friend of Pete's and went with him on the Norway expedition. And Lindy asked me to say a few words about what went on there. The expedition in many ways really began about 18 months before we left the shores of England. We had lots of sponsorship money to raise. We also had camp lists and kit lists to prepare and work out. And last but not least, we went on several caving expeditions to hone our skills, limited as they were, or at least mine were. One of the things we did was obtain a dinghy. We knew there was an underground lake and we needed practice in using it. I have this enduring memory of the first time we used it. I was stood up in the boat. The water level was about 4 foot below the bank and I was holding on to the side. Pete took one of the paddles and gently pushed the boat away, so I slowly went more and more horizontal until at last I fell in with an almighty splash. I had my revenge as the boat went over and we all got thoroughly soaked. I have a few enduring thoughts and memories of our time in Norway. The article in the National Geographic magazine spoke about us dyeing the water with fluorescein. What that article didn't say was that the water went a bright green colour and emerged some way out in a river by a farmer's field, and the cows there refused for a few days to drink anything from that river due to its colour. The farmer was not best pleased with us. I also recollect that we used to get our water for washing and drinking from this stream. In fact, it ran off a glacier and we would wash in it. It was somewhat cold to say the least. But what we found out after we'd been there a week was that about half a mile upstream from where we were, there was a dead sheep lying in the water. Fortunately, because of the cold perhaps, or that the stream was so fast moving, none of us caught anything from that animal. Thinking of our caving, there were 2 or 3 things. Pete volunteered me to climb up a waterfall. There was a dry way round it, but we were making a film and it was felt that I should be the guinea pig to climb up it, get soaked, but look good on camera. Well, I dutifully climbed up it, got soaked, and none of the film came out. Thank you again, Pete, for that. There was then the occasion, and there is a quote from Pete in the National Geographic magazine about when we met up underground, 3 parties. I was in the 3rd party. There were 2 main groups going from the top and bottom of the cave. They were the better cavers. Us also-rans were sent off to look at this other cave. Much to our surprise, in fact everyone's surprise, we all joined together up underground. It was a great reunion. It's a pity we didn't have any beer or champagne with us to celebrate, but of course, being schoolboys, we wouldn't ever have dreamt of drinking. Very often, anyway. The other memory I have is our final day there. Our campsite was about a few miles from the local farm where the bus went to, and the last 2 or 3 days was spent in us ferrying our tents, kit, etc. back to the farm. Well, the very last night of our stay, the farmer invited us all in and they said for a cup of tea. Well, we'd been up in the mountains there for close to a month. We had no clean clothes, so we were somewhat dirty, and if truth was told, we probably smelt a little bit. Anyway, we trooped in with our large half-pint mugs in hand to be greeted inside the farmhouse. It was immaculately clean, and there was this great long wood table scrubbed over the many years, I suspect, and it was covered with homemade bread, home-churned butter, cakes, all sorts of goodies, and then with little teacups for our tea. And best of all, pride of place in the centre of the table was an enlarged cake, and written in English was "Safe Journey Home." It was a moment that I will always remember, the friendliness and warmth of the Norwegian people. No doubt Pete, wherever he is now, has probably found them and is sat once more enjoying the fresh bread, the butter, and having a wonderful time. Cheers, Pete. It was great knowing you.